Hey folks, my name is Pravus and welcome to more Plague Inc. Evolved with our official scenario Mega Brutal Guide series in the new Aliens and Anti-Vaxxers DLC. Hell on Earth is our next scenario. It's time to subjugate the world, unleash a heat-loving, hell-spawned plague to corrupt people, animals, and even the world itself. Satan is waiting in the depths. This is a pretty fun scenario. It reminds me of a really well-crafted custom scenario. It's not especially difficult, and if you have some idea what you're doing, it's actually pretty fast as well. Not too hard to get a really good score, but it is fun nonetheless. A good theme. ATP boost, Darwinus, Aquasonic, Humophile, and Symptostasis is what we're going to go for. It is called Malemvitio, or however you say that in Latin, I have no idea. Now we're going to open a portal to hell. Given that this is a heat-loving country, of course, starting off in a hot country like Saudi Arabia makes a lot of sense. Though to be fair, it probably doesn't matter too much wherever you go. There are ways of countering the cold, but not the heat. Spread the disease, unleash demons, conquer the earth, and make way for the Dark Lord. Well, let's go ahead and see what options we have for us. So instead of transmissions and symptoms and abilities, we have Earth, Torment, and Hell. So Earth, of course, being your standard transmissions. We've got Heavens and the Sea. We have Hellfire, which is basically your drug resistance, but here in the transmissions tree, it doesn't even give you infectivity. It's just good in cold climates. We're going to need that. Also, we can start making the animals susceptible to corruption. So a pretty standard lineup there. For Torment, that's going to be our symptoms. I'm going to start with a couple of things here. Let's go for Infernal Exanthema, which is kind of like a rash. That's going to go to a demonic infection, and we have demonic lesions, which is kind of like going for skin lesions. So, yeah, if it works, why would I not? Though we are going to swap over here real quick and pick up Night Terrors as well, since it is a little bit of extra severity very early on, and I would like that. It's also cheap, and this is going to go in a direction toward my victory path that I do want, so I might as well get started on it now. Under Hell, we have the 7 deadly sins. There is a warlord demon from each category, and they all do different things, right? Pride is going to reset the ritual. The sloth is going to slow down the ritual, which is but just the cure, if you were wondering. Lust boosts up infectivity and transmissions. Greed is good for the wealthy countries. Envy for the poor. We have wrath for lethality, and gluttony is going to reopen all of the closed borders, which could be good if it turns out that Greenland or the Philippines shut down on me. And for some reason, the Philippines are an island that I've struggled with on this scenario. I don't really know why, but I say struggle kind of loosely because it's really not that hard to deal with anyway. Let's go ahead and save up about 14 DNA. That's what I'm shooting for in order to get my demonic lesions. That is enough. Bada boom. Cool. And that leads to a few other things. If you're willing to have a little bit of lethality, there are some relatively cheap options that boost up your infectivity and severity kind of a lot. So like if I want to go ahead and grab the demonic flesh, I don't think that's a bad idea. It's going to do quite a lot for me. Hell Visions isn't bad either for like 13 DNA, but I can hold off on that for a brief moment if I want to. Or I can say, screw it, let's just go ahead and save up and get that so I can have the extra severity, and then I'll be able to get even more DNA as I start spreading all over the world. Before I start getting too much transmission anyway. Templars reveal the satanic origin of Malemvitio. So the Templars are basically your excuse for a cure. Good news is, unlike the Shadow Plague, we're not going to have to deal with actual Templars setting up bases around the world. They're just there to, start the ritual and try to push back all the satanic influences, which I think is kind of a cool theme behind it. I also like that the music for this scenario is the Shadow Plague. That makes a lot of sense. Anyway, let's go ahead and grab things like Hell Visions. That can lead to Dark Sight. Again, a good amount of infectivity for very cheap. Hate is okay as well for only 3 DNA, so this is solid. I'll stop with all the symptoms for a moment, though. Well, we got Foul Smell for free, which I guess is nice, but let's go ahead and focus on some transmissions. We've got a lot of infectivity. We've got a lot of severity. Now we need to start moving fast. So let's go ahead and grab things like Heavens in order to get some air transmission sped up. We did get into Russia a little early. So let's go ahead and grab the animal subjects plus some oxen, which is going to make livestock subjects of the Dark Lord. I mean, I always thought that's how it ought to be. I mean, have you seen goats, dude? Have you seen goats? Those things are freaking messed up. Anyway, let's go ahead and grab fowl as well. So we have that land transmission from basically birds. Could go for things like some swarms and vermin and stuff. Don't know if I need it. Let's go ahead and grab a couple levels of sea transmission just to go ahead and speed up the humidity as well. And there's not a lot more I feel like I need. Could go for things like Swarm or for the Vermin. Extra mutation chance, not a bad idea. More important to me, I think, to go ahead and grab a couple levels of Hellfire so we are more effective in these cold climates, because the cold climates are absolutely the thing that's going to mess you up more than anything else. Turns out that cold countries are just naturally a bit more resistant to the Dark Lord, to Satan. Pretty cool for them, I guess. That's a cool thing they ought to advertise with their nation. I like it. Anyway, demonic control is another option right here for 15 DNA, a lot of infectivity. But before we do that, let's go ahead and pick up something like greed and maybe lust as well. So greed's going to make us more effective in the wealthy countries. Lust just makes everything else better. Demons are now crossing through the portals to Earth, with the demonic invasion. Awesome. So that's now a thing. Cool. So, yeah, the world is going to be falling before us very soon. So what else do we have here? We are missing New Guinea. I did get into the Philippines early. The Caribbean's a thing, and then, of course, Greenland. All right, that's not so bad. I'm going to go for a little bit of heat transmission. We are struggling there for some reason. Let's get Swarm. That should speed things up a little bit. Usually when I've done this scenario, I also pick up, like, Vermin as well, just for the urban transmission. So we've got all of that. I could go for another level of Hellfire. That would be a little bit early. Let's go ahead and grab the demonic control. So this is now going to lead up here to a couple different things. We have the satanic cultists, which give you a lot of infectivity. But we've also got worship for only 16 DNA right now, thanks to our symptostasis. The corrupted will know their place, falling to their knees and praising Satan for his existence. When everyone is corrupted, the world will belong to Satan. This is a victory condition, just like a Neurax worm, in which case you don't have to kill everyone. You just have to go ahead and get everyone properly infected. Now, I think the only island we're missing now is Greenland, though for some reason South America is proving to be a struggle as well. Yeah, that heat transmission's actually proving to be a problem for me. That's interesting. Brazil shut down their airport shockingly early. I'm going to go for an extra level of the insect infection here just to try to speed that up. Bosses say visions of hell are not valid for a day off. I have not seen this event before. That is hilarious. Workers have had nightmares containing vivid experiences of endless torment. Get back into the office. No working remote for you. Are you kidding me? Oh, we got worship for free. Well, even better. All right, that's just great. That's phenomenal. Let's go for sustenance corruption. That's going to make our infectivity up even more. A little bit of lethality. Yeah, that's cool. Now, if you really want to have a lot of lethality, your best option here is to go back to hell. Once you picked up one of these demons, you can get Satan to enter the world. Now, this is going to kill the most corrupted country entirely and give you a ton of lethality for only 2 DNA. But this also means the ritual speed is going to increase dramatically. So I don't really recommend that unless you know you're in a position where you're kind of already going to win. Let's go for the Sloth Demon, slowing down the ritual just a bit. There aren't a ton of options to slow down the cure, but we can pick up a few. So if I go for things like, I think it's Rage, yeah. Rage would do that for us, that'd be okay. If we got in Demonic Whispers, that would have been Paranoia. That wouldn't be bad either. Lung decay, blah, blah, blah. Nah. 58 DNA is a little on the expensive side, though, ain't it? Yeah, it is. Let's go for the cultists over here and stuff. I don't know. Just kind of pick up whatever you can. I do think that we're going to have a problem with Greenland, though. They did manage to close things down. That means we're going to have to go for the Gluttony Demon, which is going to be 31 DNA. So let's go ahead and pick that up. It's going to open things up like so. Boom. We are now in Greenland. We're in every country now. It's just a matter of actually winning. More cold transmission wouldn't be a bad option for me, since I think that's the thing that's slowing me down the most. So let's go for Hellfire. And then if we want to go for Eternal Flame, this increases effectiveness in all climates. At 68 DNA, a bit expensive. If we had a lot more lethality, it wouldn't be so much of an issue, but I don't have a lot of lethality, so I'm going to say that that's not going to be great for me. Anything else that would be useful? Organ Desiccation. We could just go for the lethality and stuff, try to slow some stuff down. I think I'd rather just go for the Rage if I can, just to set the cure back a little bit. There's not a lot of options to do it. I guess we could go for the Pride Demon instead. That's a little bit cheaper, and I'll do it. Resets the cure back by like another 9% or something like that. Iceland is definitely giving me some trouble, though. I have definitely found Iceland to be consistently a problem as well in this scenario for some reason. Okay, well, what do I need for this? 56 DNA? Actually, there we go. Thank you. The game just gave me exactly enough to get 56. So now Iceland is going to be instantaneously done. There's my Rage symptom mutated, so that resets the cure a smidge. And we're about to find, I think the cure is going to reset by like 30 or 40%. The entire world is infected, right? It is. It does take a while for some reason for the event to fire, which is supposed to make the entire world worship us. There it is. I don't know why, right? Because if it's the Neurax worm, once everyone's infected, this pops like right away. Now, not so much. So there might be another trigger in here somewhere that I'm not familiar with that is preventing this from firing. But regardless, you know, 82% cure progress. Okay, rejoice, we now serve one master, one king, one god. The world will know him now. Boom, done. Okay. And that for some reason, the very last second, if you notice that, reset the cure from 83% down to 43%. We got a 3-star victory. That was the slowest of 3 runs I've done. Usually I can get this done in about 230 days and get like a 97,000 score. So that was a little slow. Something went kind of wrong there. A couple things got slowed down. But this build order does work, and with a little bit more luck than that, you'll get a fine score. Point is, even with all that, we easily get 3 stars. Not a hard scenario at all. If you want to go down to lethality, lethality route, you really can. Just be aware that, like, yeah, they're going to ramp up that cure by a lot. So, you know, make sure you time it a little bit later, then go ahead and bring Satan into the world and just ramp up that lethality like crazy. Or don't even bother with it in order to get a really good score by not having too much of the cure, and you just go for plenty of lethality with all the other symptoms. They're reasonably cheap as long as you have the symptostasis. It's not so bad. Thank you all very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If so, I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, join the Discord server if you'd like to talk more Plague Inc., and I will see you guys next time.